this thing is kind of has a special place in my heart about the diet and the skin and the diet and the acne, because many years ago, I was at a dermatologist with one of our boys, and I was trying to make our kids, because when they listen to somebody else,
Oh, yes.
sometimes they kind of absorb it better. If you're a parent, you know what I mean. So I was sitting here and I was always trying to convince the kids not to eat too much chocolate, not to eat too much candy,
Sweets.
not to eat things that are very processed, and it's really not good for their skin, especially for acne. So I was sitting in a room with a fairly knowledgeable dermatologist, and I said, Dr. XYZ, can you explain to my son that what you eat matters and it can affect the acne? And she looked at me with this, she looked at me with this, well, it says, there is no scientific evidence that what you eat affects acne. And I said, oh my God. And I wanted to
And
pull
we're like,
my hair,
ah!
and I just said, "Oh God, I
Work
wish."
with us.
I have to be very honest with you. I have a lot of respect for doctors. Okay, this is not about dermatologist bashing and things like that.
This is
This is a beef I have with the medical schools, because they focus so much on diseases, okay, and curing diseases and addressing diseases, that they don't look, they're having a little bit of a tunnel look, in my opinion. They don't look at the broader picture. They don't look at they have a nutritional sciences department,
Yeah.
but there's no nutritional sciences program necessarily in the medical school. So a lot of the doctors come out with a lot of knowledge. If I'm not feeling well or if I get ill, I will go to my family doctor. They're very important. But they are so focused here that they don't know about the herbs, the natural medicine. They don't know. There's no program in there.
Or the diet.
And hopefully in the years to come, that's gonna change. But right now, if you want the best of both worlds, you need to have an open mind and really look at everything. Look at the science and look at the natural stuff and you need to look at everything.
But you are what you eat.
Right. That's very true. So now,
Doctor.
to just magnify and amplify what I'm trying to say, I did this diagram. Okay, so I put a balance here, a scale here. The younger generation probably doesn't even know what this type of scale, how does it work? But basically, it's a balance.
They do, because all the Libras out there will know what that is.
And so we are having a face. One side is full of acne, the other side is nice and fresh. And on one side, I put the processed food, and on the other side, I have all the healthy
Fast
vegetables and things like that.
Fast food.
And basically, I'm just
Healthy
gonna
food.
say,
Single serve.
I'm not the type of person says that you should never eat a burger or you should never go to a fast food place. No, there's a balance. If you focus a lot here and very little here, then the balance is going to tip, and this is what you're going to have, most probably. And inside your body, not only outside, inside your body will also suffer dramatically.
Mhm.
So, because everything that is affecting here as acne, I mean, the topic today is acne, but actually, all those negative things is going to start inside your body too, because the same things that are going to help the bad acne on your face, they're going to help the bad bacteria in your body, the bad viruses in your body, and that's when problems start. Okay, so acne is an important part of it, but the rest is also very important. So let's try to dig in. I think it was our 7th show. I was looking at my file. In our 7th show that we did for between Manuela and I, we actually talked about acne. So if you guys want to get more knowledgeable about the details of acne and how it's formed and what happens and what ingredients you have to use on your skin to help your acne and combat your acne, We have it in our archives. You can always go and look at
You
it.
can look at it. Maybe they can link it below.
Yeah, we can
To the
put the
video.
link for that
It's
presentation
episode
below.
7.
Yeah, it was episode 7. And that was almost about a year ago almost. So, but today we're talking about basically the inside out type of thing, is what we're doing internally, how it's going to affect it, and how you can do to what you can do to benefit your skin. So, look, these are the culprits of acne. Sebum. Sebum is the food for bacteria. Without sebum, your skin is gonna suffer. That's
Explain
why.
sebum to them. What is sebum so they
Okay,
understand sebum?
look, sebum is basically the lubricant and the protectant that the sebaceous glands in your skin create to keep your skin moisturized. Now, sebum itself has no water, but because a layer of sebum spreads evenly over your skin, that minimal amount of sebum is important to prevent the moisture loss from your skin. That is critical. Without sebum, your skin is gonna get dry. Like some of these drugs, like Accutane, when they will prevent your body from making sebum, then your skin is gonna get chapped, it's gonna get dry, it's gonna get flaky. Your bacteria, the bacteria is gonna go away because there's no food for them, but your skin is gonna suffer. So some sebum is a must on your skin. Too much of it, it's gonna help the bad bacteria grow, and the C. acne, the Cutibacterium acne, is gonna grow on your skin. So we need to understand some sebum. So hormones like androgens cause sebaceous glands to produce too much oil. Okay, so things that we're gonna eat that have the androgenic effect, and it will overstimulate the androgen hormone production, it can make our skin more oily. As females age and the androgens go down, your skin is going to get dry. Clogged hair follicles, that will allow that sebum to get trapped. It forms a biofilm around that bacteria, and I'm going to talk about biofilm, that's very important. And then that bacteria is going to become opportunistic and grow, and then when that biofilm basically is a protective layer that bacteria starts create, is like a mucus that the bacteria is going to create around itself when they coagulate, and that slimy film will prevent the key ingredients that destroy the bacteria, like antibiotics, to reach the bacteria. So that is a protective layer that the bacteria creates for itself, and then so it'll give it an opportunity to grow. Cleansing now becomes very important, and how you cleanse and get rid of that biofilm becomes very important.
That the exfoliation is important.
Blockage,
overgrowth.
One of the things that makes the bacteria becomes also more opportunistic and things go into a vicious cycle is the inflammation. So when the bacteria grows, our body starts fighting it, and that's when the inflammation happens. If that goes in a vicious cycle and the inflammation grows, then our immune system at the same time is going to start suffering. So it goes into a vicious cycle, and then the condition of that bacteria gets worse and worse. And then formation of lesions, that is part of the process. So this was basically an overall view of the bacteria, how acne bacteria grows on your skin. Basically, I was trying to tell you guys that it's a complicated soup. And then what this complicated soup is that we need to look after excess sebum. We need to look after clogged pores. We need to look after the microbiome, because these good bacteria, the microbiome, controls the bad bacteria, puts it in check. It controls the bacterial growth. We need to fight the inflammation.
Disinflammation.
We need to have a proper immune response. So if you're doing things, stress, okay? So, I went through a period that I was so stressed, I got more acne. Why? Because stress suppresses your immune system, okay? And then when your immune system, which are basically the police force on your skin to keep the bad bacteria in check. When they're busy looking after your stress, they cannot be attending to the bacteria. So then the bacteria is going to get opportunity. And then we talk about oxidative stress, which now it comes to the fast food, because they have a lot of reactive oxygen species. These are the free radicals that create oxidative stress in your body. The oxidative stress that is created in your body then suppresses your immune system. It allows the bacteria to grow on your skin. Now, I like charts, okay?
If you want charts,
these charts? You need to go to our website, okay? You need to go and subscribe, and you will get the charts. All right.
subscribe
Now,
to request, yes.
things that are going to contribute to acne. Remember here, I talked about inflammation and all this bad stuff, and now let's see how that correlates to the food, specifically to the food. Look, inflammation, sugary foods, processed foods, they feed the bacteria, they cause the inflammation, they worsen skin conditions.
So inflammation, and explain to them inflammation, what it looks like. It's the redness, it's the irritation, swelling.
Swelling of the skin.
That's inflammation.
Irritation.
So a lot of times when you see a zit or a pimple, there's redness. Not just a pimple, there's also surrounding areas red, and sometimes it's raised, and that's all the inflammation part.
Right. Very correct. And then disrupting the skin microbiome. So that is that healthy layer on the skin that protects and supports and nurtures and nourishes our skin. So look, high glycemic index foods and alcohol. Those are some examples, okay? Your gut microbiome is going to get disrupted and then leads to an imbalance in your skin. White bread, alcohol, sweetened cereals.
That's a lot. That's a sugar. There's a lot of sugar here.
Okay, now let me try to explain to you what is the difference, what I mean by sugar and the glycemic index.
Yes.
But there is a difference, okay? Sugar is 1 unit of sugar, the glucose, okay? That when you consume that sugar, then that causes problems.
Like candy.
Right. So when we talk about the glycemic index, we're talking about the food that when you consume, that is not necessarily, you won't look at it as sugar, but when your body breaks it down and chops it up with different enzymes, there are sugar molecules in there that will end up in your bloodstream and gets to the cells.
Quickly.
So like
bread, pasta. Right. So basically what it does is it spikes your insulin.
Right.
High glycemic means whoop, you're gonna. So here, candy, soda, people go, oh, I get that, that's sugar. Yeah. But here you say bread, cereal, that's sugar too, right? Yeah. Pasta, that's sugar.
Right.
Right?
When it's digested, it raises your glycemic index. Right?
You know, even when you take it to abstract, if you have raisins or processed things like that, that's sugar. So those things you can, but in moderation, because that could be a natural sugar, but it's still a high glycemic index.
Right. Now, what creates or affects the upregulation of the sebum? You're talking about food with high fat content or dairy products, okay? Now let's talk about cheese, milk, and fast food that has a lot of fat in it or processed fat.
Convenient cheese. We don't mean like real aged raw milk cheese. We mean like the spreadable cheese, the margarines, the seed oils, the corn oil, the canola oil. Right. Those are, and the fast food is cooked in a lot of this stuff, right? So that's very not good for you, right? Or you can have full fat milk that's also yogurt or something with strawberries and all the sugars this is a really bad soup.
Right. Now, let me try to explain. Now, some of you may be sitting there saying, I have a lot of sugar, nothing happens to me. Everybody's internal digestive system and how it tackles a specific molecule or ingredient that they consume is different. Some people have really good tolerance for it, or some people, when they consume a lot of sugar, their body is in a way that, okay, the sugar content in the glycemic index, the sebum goes up, but they have such a strong immune system. The police force, you're going to bring a lot of thieves on your skin, but the police force is so strong for them that it keeps them in check and they don't let them misbehave. Okay, so it doesn't mean that if anybody that will do some of these things necessarily will have problem, but these are the things that on average will actually cause a problem. So it doesn't mean that for one person a particular food will not get digested properly or gets over digested and makes the glycemic index go high. Another person may consume the same food and it will not have an effect the same way on their glycemic index because the way they digest things is different. Okay, so the body's mechanism for digesting the food is very complex and everybody is a little bit different. The same way I like giving examples. The same is that like two people may eat almost the same amount of calories. One person will be very slim and the other person will gain weight like crazy because in that case their metabolic rate is very different. The same way that the metabolic rate for people is different, the digestive system is also a little bit different. But that doesn't mean that over time your body may be able to handle it, but you will reach a point that when you start abusing all these things, you will eventually have the problem.
But this is also, right now we're talking about the food and how it correlates to acne, right? But this same stuff also correlates to broken collagen, to aging. So this is actually causes accelerated aging. So you may say, I'm eating candy or I have a lot of sugar, I don't have one breakout.
But you have a lot of glycation.
You may have a ton of glycation,
Yeah.
and all of a sudden you are photoaging very, very quickly, right? So you should have looked like this at 40, but you look like that, or at 60, or whatever it is. So it may not show up at 30 or 40, but it will show up at 50, 60, 70. Like, they say, you get the skin you deserve when you're over 50 or whatever. It's basically based on these things too. So acne is, we're talking about this food and acne, but you could substitute aging or broken collagen for it.
You can fight the process, okay? You can help it. You can help your body. You can help your skin. In general, sugar is a bad thing. No sugar is a bad thing too. So I'm not saying you can 100% cut all kinds of sugar from your diet. No, your body needs it. It's a source of energy. But
your brain needs
it. And too much of it, when it's uncontrolled, when it's not calculated, causes problem. It's not proven yet, but not science is leaning towards. We yet have to find out that even Alzheimer's is another form of diabetes for the brain.
Think about that.
So think about that. So that's how the scientists are looking at it. I don't want to scare people. It's not proven, but it's coming up. It's there to start talking about it. We need to see more studies to see how that thing is going to get proven.
But on that point, though, I do think we don't need studies. We don't need to prove that highly processed food and a diet predominantly of fast food or processed food and my son last week was trying to say to me, Mom, how do I know when something is very processed? He goes, can I go by the rule that if the packaging is very attractive, I should stay away from it? And I'm pretty much, yes, the flashier the packaging, the more processed. It's just a kind of anecdotal thing.
Some good companies make nice packaging too.
But fast food is very attractive.
Don't always agree.
It's the food chemistry, right? It's the food chemistry they're trying to make. But we know that these seed oils, this processed food, a lot of the flavorants that they put in things, these things make you want stuff, but there's actually no value. When you go to a diet with value, that's very important versus a no value diet. Right?
Pay attention to the ingredients and educate yourself about ingredients. That is your best ammunition you can have.
Yeah.
Now, oxidative stress. So anything that promotes free radicals is really bad.
Processed
Okay,
meats,
processed meats,
fried food,
nitro
anything fried.
the nitrosamines that are byproducts in these processed food, the nitrates that they add
Hurts
as
me
kind of a preservative stuff.
thinking of prosciutto.
You know, so when you do a lot of that, and that's going to cause a problem. It's
Right.
going to go out of balance. So we talk about bacon, French fries, chips, things like that have a lot of oxidative stress and free radicals in there. Basically, what free radicals do, they go and attach themselves to they're like bad apples. You know how a bad apple sit next to another apple and it goes bad? So they go in there, they're like bad apples. They start damaging the proteins. They damage the natural cells in your body. Some of those cells, some of those molecules are part of your immune system. It's part of that police force. So you're damaging the police force, then the problems are going to happen. The bacteria and viruses and all those things become opportunistic, and then everything goes downhill. So I don't like to talk all negative here. We need to talk about positive stuff because positive always outweighs the negative.
Yay.
So before I marked it as red, now we're going to green. Well, what can we do? Look, vitamins and minerals are very important, and I'm going to basically tell you where you can get some of these things in a natural form. So when you're talking about antioxidants like vitamin C, a lot of citrus fruits and things like that, they have a lot of vitamin C. That's an example of somehow that you can combat these free radicals and control them. And then you can have zinc from beef and oyster, selenium from nuts and tuna, copper from shellfish nuts and nuts. So all those things are anti-inflammatory, they're antioxidants, they help support your immune system. A good immune system will really help you keep your acne in check and also your body in a much healthier situation and position. Hormonal regulation, we know acne is directly related to the hormonal changes. You want to help regulate your hormones a little bit, omega-3 fatty acids, low glycemic index foods, okay? And then zinc and probiotics. These always help with your hormone levels and helping them to balance them and regulate them. And then it regulates your insulin, androgens, support hormone balance. It's good. Altogether is a really good approach. Natural yogurt helps the antimicrobial peptides.
Fermented
All right.
foods.
Let's talk a little bit, a few seconds about antimicrobial peptide. That is very important. We always talk about peptides like matrixyl and copper peptide, and so these are all collagen boosting. But peptides are basically a sequence of amino acids that have a unique function. So when we talk about matrixyl or copper peptide, that sequence is a code that when it reaches your skin and it gets involved with the genetic system, it's giving you a signal to make more collagen, make healthier collagen, improve the condition of skin. There are some peptides that they are antimicrobial. They're like antibiotics in a way, okay? So they destroy, there's part of your defense system of your body. Those antimicrobial peptides have a very, very important role also in your skin. So when you eat right and you support the antimicrobial peptides, then your skin is in better condition, your body is in better condition. So inside what you eat will affect your skin. It's very important. Or if you do something stressful to your skin or damaging to your skin, you do a very strong glycolic peel on your skin and you cause inflammation, you may damage those antimicrobial peptides. You don't want to do harsh stuff on your skin because if you damage the antimicrobial peptides, then your skin will eventually suffer as well because the defense mechanism of your skin is compromised. Now, nitric oxide. This is a two-faced molecule, okay? Too much nitric oxide will act as a free radical and it can damage things, and it's negative. Some nitric oxide is amazing. Why? Because nitric oxide, you believe it or not, is one of the only few molecules that are left that the bacteria has no immunity to it. It will kill the bacteria. So it's an important part of the defense mechanism in our body. So our body sometimes produces nitric oxide to defend itself. It's part of the defense system. It uses it for it. Another face of the nitric oxide that is really amazing for your skin or your body is a vasodilator. Okay, so sometimes people that have very high blood pressure, and all of a sudden they're taking their blood pressure medication, and all of a sudden their blood pressure, even with the blood pressure medication, it goes to like 200. They put nitroglycerin under their tongue. Okay, and that increases the nitric oxide in the body. The veins already dilate very quickly, and then it drops the blood pressure. So nitric oxide is a vasodilator, but it also helps destroy the bacteria. You need to have a good balance of nitric oxide in your body and in your skin. Now, I talked about the beetroots
Leafy
and
greens.
leafy greens. It's like beets are amazing source of nitric oxide. It has a lot of other goodies in it, but it's really good for vasodilation. It's good for blood pressure. It's good for your body.
But it also has a lot of sugar, so you have to be. So with beets, like carrots,
You have to be careful.
you have to do moderation, because it can be glycemic or sugar or all that. So you have a normal serving. You don't jump in and
You
say,
don't
"Oh,
eat 12 beets."
this is going to be the answer."
Yeah, no. Look, I always say moderation is the name of the game. And also remember this: toxicity is a function of concentration. Anything at certain concentration will become toxic.
Water.
Take 20,000 milligrams of vitamin C every day, it's going to be toxic. Okay, so that's why we have the RDAs. Some people dispute the RDAs. They recommend the daily allowance. I think sometimes they're way too conservative.
Yeah.
But if you go 10 times the RDA, you're going to be in trouble as well. And then microbiome.
I love microbiome.
Fiber-rich foods. Okay, it helps really support your microbiome. And so that's really the healthy skin, microbiome, balanced skin. That's all the right stuff. So if you put these things together, you don't need to memorize these charts. We're gonna put them on the website. You can go and download it and take a look at it.
You have to request them, please.
But create a nice, healthy balance. Rule of thumb: avoid eating too much fast food,
junk,
too much processed food. And that is really the secret to a healthy living and good skin.
I'm going to be starting in January. We're going to be starting recipes that are anti-inflammatory, gut health, longevity, anti-aging. So we're going to show you recipes, because we do this here at the office sometimes, where we have
started it. Yeah. It makes a huge difference.
We have the lunches together. Yeah. I bring it from home. Yeah. We make the lunches here. And so we are really moving towards, especially because of our age, and also, your body starts to hurt. It doesn't really function the same way. So I know this is a diet in acne, but it's also just about building a stronger body, right? You want to have the right proteins, you want to have the right carbs, you want to have the right food. And we find too that the inflammation, the gut health, the immune system, it all works together. Like the few simple things that we're going to do together, we're going to share with you that information. So if you want to know more about our longevity program for eating, and again, we're not selling you anything. I really want people to know that
we don't manufacture any of this stuff.
We don't make any of this stuff. We're just talking about it. But this is all designed to help you from the inside out, right? So from the inside, this is what you can do at home. Sometimes people don't know what to make or how to make it, or it's just so easy to get something that's fast food, and then you end up with breakout, or you end up not feeling good. Whereas it could have been just as easy to make something healthy. You just didn't know that these three things would make a world of difference, right?
Yeah.
And I know you had the scale, all about balance, right? Don't think it should be 50-50.
No, no, no.
Honestly, it should be like 80-20.
95-5.
Well, I
95.
mean,
Listen,
95, 5,
but
80, 20,
it's
because people are going into Christmas now.
right,
They're going to be drinking and
right.
eating and sugar and all
You
this.
shouldn't be. You shouldn't be.
You're
Go
going
with
to.
moderation, okay? Go with moderation.
Drink lots of
There are
good
certain
water.
things. There are certain things, in my opinion, that having one and having 20, they're equally as bad. Okay, so when it comes to smoking, one cigarette is almost as bad as 20 cigarettes. Okay, so try to, and but the moving towards eating healthy doesn't have to be like cold turkey. It can be gradual, it can be slow, and if your scale right now is completely tipped the other way around, and it's, let's say,
Some people are
90% here and 10% here, try to go to 50-50, try to go to 40-60, and slowly trying to move. And the best way to approach it is making this available to you.
Such a smart
Because
idea.
if you don't make it available to yourself, it's so easy. We always gravitate towards that. Look, in chemistry, we have a thing called enthalpy. Okay, enthalpy is the state of the energy. So we say everything always go to the lowest state of energy all the time. When you go and sit on a couch, maybe at the very beginning you try to sit, but eventually you're going to go like this, okay?
And then slowly you
You're going to the lowest state of energy in your molecules. Behave the same way. Our brain and thinking is that we always try to do and the easiest thing, and that is not necessarily the best thing for us. So sitting on the couch, less energy, we go like this, is not really good for our body. We need to correct ourselves. That takes energy. It goes against enthalpy. So it's easy. Why fast food industry is so successful? Because they make it so easy. You don't even have to wait anymore. There's no time spent. And I don't want to badmouth an industry. That's not my goal. I'm just saying that the reason I'm saying this is that if you really want to tackle a problem, you need to go against the enthalpy. You need to go against that
effort,
laziness, that everything wants to be slouchy. You need to put energy into it.
Not all low-hanging fruit is healthy.
You need to put a little bit of energy, put a little bit of effort, pass by on your way home, or when you go for a walk from a store that sells nice food, fresh food, fruits, vegetables, and leave it in your room accessible. So instead of you right away reaching for that bag of chips or go to a fast food place and get a French fries or a burger, you can satisfy your taste with those things.
One of the things I always have around is bananas, oranges, and apples, right? So it's that my concept has always been, even is every day you have one banana, one orange, one apple. So if you were to like have that available and know before you eat anything else, you've got to eat this one apple, one orange, one banana, right? Even if you do then eat this stuff, you've already armed yourself with anti-inflammatory, good health, the citrus fruit, like the microbiome boosting, like there's so many things you've already done there simply, and it hasn't interrupted your day, and it adds so much more value. If for those of you who are struggling with, how do I do this? Where do I don't know what to start. I'm so confused. Just start with those 3 fruits.
Simple.
Really simple. And then next month, maybe you add peppers to it. I don't know, like, or lettuce. But this is a really good place to start building that profile.
Yes, absolutely. Start with having a small glass of kefir every day.
Oh, yes.
You know, that is one of the best things for the microbiome. I forgot to put it in here.
No, you did. Well, you had the fermented food.
Yeah,
next one.
Yeah.
Fermented foods,
Yeah.
yogurt. So the kefir goes there.
And it's great for your skin microbiome. So
you know what else is
one
good?
step at a time.
Kimchi, fermented food. Kimchi is very good. Sauerkraut, very good. So if you don't have kefir, say, but that's not, part of your food, but
Mhm.
maybe you have kimchi, maybe you have, so that's fermented. Or I don't know if torshi is, but sauerkraut is also.
Mhm.
So they use those as alternatives, right? So these are actually good things that, and as little as 1 tablespoon changes things.
You know, another thing I want to suggest to you, we're going to put this on our website. We're going to put this picture on the website so you can download it. I want you to print it and put it on your fridge.
Oh.
Okay? I want you to print it.
No, but
and-
you need to then move the scale to this side. We
No,
want, no, this side. 'Cause
You
you want
just
more
need
of
to,
this.
you just need to
Just go like
remind
that.
yourself. You just need to remind yourself.
I
This
thought you were
part
going to
of
put
the
the other
scale,
thing, put on
this part of
t-shirt.
the scale is here. This part of the scale is here. And just extend it and think about it that whatever I'm gonna see on my skin or how the condition my inside my body where I cannot see, it's gonna be the same stuff happening in different ways. So take this and put it somewhere, or you can put it in your car so that you don't go towards that. So, or put it on your fridge that
Just
reminds you that you need to go
no
to that.
drive-through policy. If they have a drive-through, you don't want to eat there.
Or
Right?
not very often. Not very often.
See,
Sometimes we
this
get
is where you
stuck.
start sliding it. You should just for a while and see how it, especially when you have acne, especially when
Yeah.
you have things that are really bothering you. And I know, what happens? You end up with acne and diet does matter, but it depresses you. It makes you feel bad. And what do? You're going to reach for comfort food. A lot of times it's that bucket of ice cream. It's the fries. It's only going to make it worse, right? And it's also going to make you sluggish. So maybe that's very important too, to know that the diet really affects it. Anyway, I think we should go to the questions. Do we have questions? Yes? Are we done with the presentation?
I think we're done.
Okay,
I
so
think we're
question time. If I detox my liver, will I heal my hormonal acne?
I cannot say you 100%, but it is part of the important process. A healthy liver is directly correlated to a healthy condition of the skin. So the color of your skin, the texture of your skin, your liver plays a very, very important role. Your liver makes a lot of important enzymes, and it's critical part of your body's daily function. Yes.
Can I, yeah, I have a problem with this question because I think that this opens up another area that I don't know a lot about it, but I do have a lot of opinion about it, which maybe is bad. But if you follow the food plan about eating less processed foods, eating cleaner, eating all these nutrient-rich
That's
foods,
detoxing.
that's detoxing. If you're asking us, should I, it's like, because people make tinctures and they make stuff that say liver cleanse and da. I would never use things like
You
personally.
be careful with it. There are some scientific stuff there, but you have to be very.
I would go with this. Like when you mean detox, to me it means you're going to have a very anti-inflammatory, nutrient-rich salad with olive oil and lemon juice instead of processed food and this detox thing, because people sell these
There's a lot of
detox
snake
things
oils
out there
in that industry. Yes.
So when you ask that question, don't think that you take this thing and it absolves you of all your sins and then you're good to go. No, you don't learn anything from it and it may not be good for you.
Basically what I think Manuela is saying is that you cannot tell me that you're going to smoke a lot of cigarettes and then you take a lot of vitamin C and say that I'm going to neutralize all the free radicals. It doesn't work like
Pretty
that.
much.
All right. And then
or that someone says you can do that, but here's a pill that counteracts it all.
No. You need to start by really going against that entropy. Don't go like this. You need to correct a lot of stuff. But one of the things that always it reminds me of when we talked about cleansing was I don't even know if this thing still exists or not. But many years ago, when the infomercials were going crazy, they had this gadget that people were sitting, and then they would put their feet in
Oh.
this little
The bath.
in this
Foot
little
bath.
gadget foot bath, and then all of a sudden it would turn murky and color and say, "Look at all these toxins that's coming
out of your feet." And people were like buying it like crazy, thinking, "Oh, I put my feet in this and
I got
it's
the
cleansing my body."
Don't fall for those
No,
things.
no.
Do not fall for those things. They're always gimmicky. There are some
That was just a
natural ways that
reaction,
you
by the
can
way.
you,
It
you
wasn't
can
a, it
detox
wasn't
your body.
it wasn't a true detox. It was a reaction.
It was a chemical reaction
Yeah.
that they created in there.
So
it was really funny.
So liver, yes, and your liver is always doing its thing. Your liver is detoxing and all this. It has a job to do. But also what you feed the liver, right? The quality of food you're feeding is also going to help it to do its job. So if you give it a lot of toxins through processed food, you're overstressing, inflammation, stressing, fatty liver, like all those things, alcohol, that's affecting your liver, right? Is it okay to have kefir if dairy gives me acne?
I think kefir behaves differently than
Exactly.
dairy. Okay, but everybody's, as you remember, I said everybody's body is a little bit different. So I would recommend that you give it a try. Start with like uh, a small cup, a little tiny cup, like an espresso cup a day, and then see how your body reacts. And I think you're gonna see great results.
Or
I don't think,
have non-dairy
yeah,
kefir.
yeah,
There's
like,
plant-based kefir too.
yeah.
But do not have flavored kefir. It needs to be plain.
Simple. This
Plain.
is like having yogurt. You don't.
Plain.
A lot of you go to buy yogurt now. It's so confusing because there is one simple yogurt without any additives on one shelf, and then the rest is all sugared, colored, everything. So don't think that you go and take the other kind with all kinds of sugar and color stuff is as good or good for you like that plain yogurt. Go with the simple plain yogurt. It's always better for you.
In January, what we can do is we can, as part of the nutritional part, we can look at some kefirs and we can show you different options of kefir and what to look for, what not to look for. But for sure, you never buy kefir or yogurt. You don't buy any of the fruit or the flavored ones. It's always plain, right? Like, and I used to not be a big fan of Greek yogurt, but actually Greek yogurt, the reason why they call it Greek yogurt, why it's better, is that they strain it 2 times. So then it ups the protein. So for the amount that you eat, you almost double the protein. So that's really good for you. And it has a lot of life culture, right? So even the kefir, there'll be kefir that has more, but there are plant-based kefirs, which is basically I guess a plant fermentation.
I don't know. I will look into it for you, but honestly, I don't know.
How can you tell the difference between acne and a damaged skin barrier?
Oh, they're very different. But through the pathology, how acne grows or damaged skin barrier, it doesn't go. Damaged skin barrier can contribute to some acne, but it's kind of a very
Acne is going to be more like a spot. The damaged skin barrier is going to be a little bit different, right?
That usually causes like kind of a rash or type like an eczema type of a thing that is a little bit different. There is less whitehead, blackhead, and more inflammation. If that's the way I look at it.
With acne.
I will show you some pictures of it in the next show. So I think sometimes when you look at it, it's easier to explain.
And acne comes and goes. A damaged skin barrier is probably like 2-3 days and then gone. It's just going to look different.
If it doesn't get healed, it's still a damaged skin barrier that can lead to infection. But the pathology of it and the way it looks on the skin is a little different. I will bring you some examples of the damaged skin barrier that is not acne related.
Would a damaged skin barrier have pustules?
It can have some infection, but not in that same round format.
Like a zit.
Right.
Like a pimple.
Yeah.
I don't understand the question.
You're
I do
eating.
eat.
You're
I'm
eating
eating a lot of meat. How does it affect my skin condition? Sorry. Can you repeat that question? Because what's your skin condition? Do you have a lot of breakouts, or you don't? You
Okay.
have a lot of breakouts. I eat a lot of meat. I get a lot of breakouts.
Okay. The first thing the definition of a lot of meat is kind of vague. Okay, so for one person could be I eat 2 pounds of meat a day. That's a lot, and some people say, well, I have maybe 200 grams of a day, and they think it's a lot. You need to give me a little bit of a reference. How much meat is a lot of meat? That's number one. So that can definitely contribute to it because meat is pro-inflammatory. Okay, so meat causes inflammation in our body, especially if it's not good quality meat that they use a lot of hormones uh, with the cattle and things like that.
What kind of meat? Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a
So
chicken.
that
Is it
makes it
hormone? Is
that
it
makes a
beef? Yeah.
difference. And then you also need to also pay attention. Okay, now you're eating a lot of meat, but what about the rest of the bad
What if
stuff
it's
we
this?
talked about?
But what if it's this kind of meat, Darius? We don't even know if it's real meat. Like
Right.
we're assuming it's steak.
So
or
that's what I
chicken.
said. The quality is
But
matter.
it could
So
be burger
if
or
you're
hot
eating,
dogs.
yeah. So if you're this kind of meat in this section,
That's-
definitely.
it's
But
probably not meat.
also try to pay attention. Other than the meat, what else in this area you're consuming? So it may be coming from the meat, or it
Could be
may not be coming
processed
from the
meat, right?
Then one of the things that it's I always tell people, because some of these things you need to experiment with. As I said, everybody's body is a little bit different. Certain types of food in certain bodies cause a lot more inflammation than other people. Like the same way that a person may be um, intolerant to milk, okay? Another person, milk doesn't affect them the same way. So pay attention to what happens to your skin for those periods that you think you consumed less meat.
Mm-hmm.
How did your skin respond?
And how are you preparing the meat?
If the answer is, oh my God, I'm thinking about it. A week ago I went away, and for whatever reason I didn't have access to a lot of meat, and my diet changed and my skin changed, then you gave yourself the answer. So sometimes the tomatoes is the same story. Some people eat tomatoes and
react.
nothing happens, and the other person next day they break out. It causes much more inflammation and issues and suppresses the antimicrobial peptide a lot more in one person than the other.
Can protein powder cause me acne?
The
Sure.
probability of it should be less, but then how is that protein powder
What kind of protein?
created? Are they putting a lot of sugar in it?
Is it
Are they
whey?
putting a lot of things to make it taste better? A lot of coloring stuff, a lot of things that are not that's processed. So if the answer to those things is yes, it's possible, but too much protein in general can, in some
Bad
people,
protein.
not everybody, in some people.
But you know, this makes me want to ask a question. And the question is, because that's like an umbrella. It's like, it's too much vitamin C, or this vitamin C in this, I use this product with vitamin C, it doesn't work for me. There's many forms of vitamin C, many different concentrations. There's many forms of protein powder, right? So when you say, does protein powder do X? Some protein powders may do it. Some protein powders may not do it.
Right.
We need to know, is it a pea protein? Is it a whey protein? Is it chocolate flavored? Is it, is it collagen peptides? What kind of protein are we talking about? So each one can have its different ingredient that then can be very inflammatory. The recipe matters. So protein powder is like an umbrella statement. You need to be a little bit more specific so we can actually be more helpful in being able to answer the question. Is that good?
I made myself a tea with all herbs.
Yes. Is this the one with this is the one with that has the cardamom and all that
Cardamom
sort of
and everything. So
rose.
I tell you a little story. So I'm a bad sleeper. I have a hard time sleeping at night, and I drink a lot of coffee. I just love coffee. So
Is there a correlation there?
And all this time I'm being a biochemist. I'm still brain. I know caffeine is good for you to some extent, But I was doing a workout, and my trainer said, "Well, how was your sleep last night?" I said, "Oh, it was horrible. I didn't fall asleep till 2 o'clock." And he looked at me and said, "How much coffee do you drink?" I said, "Oh, I take maybe 5, 6 coffees a day, but I'm okay with it." And you know how you fool yourself, right? The smarter you are, the more you fool yourself. I'm not trying to say I'm very smart, but then he said, "You know what? Why don't you gradually reduce your caffeine intake?" So I started by taking 5 or 6 to 2. Now I'm into 1 coffee in the morning, sometimes two when I cheat, and the rest of the time I've made myself. Uh, I made tea accessible to me right next to the coffee machine, and when I go there, instead of getting gravitated to that espresso machine, I turn a little bit, and then I make myself a nice herbal tea with low caffeine. And honestly, my sleeping is a lot better. I can say 70% better. And I think if I can reduce it to maybe 1 coffee a day on a consistent basis, my sleeping will become
When
normal
they say
again.
like nothing, no caffeine after 10 a.m. or something, like if
Yeah.
you can have a timeline too, because that could help the sleep.
Yeah. So, sometimes we know it, what we fool ourselves,
Yeah.
but you need somebody else to just remind us, hey, you know what you're doing is not so good for you.
If you've liked it today, we're going to wrap up right now. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Follow us on our socials. Comment on the topics down below. If you found any value in this, please tell a few friends about us to follow Isomers Skincare. We look forward to coming back next week. Are we going to be doing it next week? Not if it's the 19th. Oh, no, the 19th, yes. We are going to be doing it maybe in the morning.
Yeah,
Because if we don't do the 19th, we'll do the 18th. Because then we are going to take a Christmas break with the family. And so we won't be going live. So maybe it'll be the 18th if it's not the 19th.
I want to start a little competition. I love competition.
Oh my gosh, and he's such a sore loser. He's actually a sore winner too, right? With competition. I refuse to play games with him. Like we can't even play backgammon because he just chirps all the time. And so like I can't even play.
So I want to create a competition. So Alton, you need to help me out here. So we have followers on TikTok, we have followers on Instagram, and we have followers on Facebook and YouTube.
Yes.
So we have technically 4 groups. So I want to see which group you're going to have the most followers, and we see
And you have
if
to
these
follow
groups
all 4.
see if or which group has the most followers, or which person follows us on all of them. The group that follows us on all of them.
And comments the most. And has to comment. Can't just
No,
follow. You have to participate. Because it's too easy just following. You have to actually participate.
So let's monitor this. We're gonna look for people that comment on all 4,
And
then we're gonna send them a discount code.
Ooh.
How's that? If they follow us on all 4, they're gonna get a discount code. How's
that? All right, that sounds very good. Anyways, if you found value in this, we really enjoyed doing this. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and follow us for more information, and subscribe to our newsletter because we have upcoming events and special announcements. And we look forward to seeing you next week. Bye.